Hello, everyone. Hello.
Yes, sir.
Is it audible?
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir.
Just
Yes, sir.
wait for a few seconds, then we'll proceed to. Just wait. Few students are just joined. All of you mute their microphones. Then we'll start. Okay, let's start. So here we have already discussed the basic foundation related to your supply chain management. In the yesterday class or previous class, we have discussed the foundation of supply chains, which is directly belong to your model number 1. And I'm just quickly gone through all the things. These are the reference books, as I told in the last class. The textbook of logistic and supply chain management, that is D.K. Agarwal. The supply chain revolutions by Suman Sarkar, and logistic and supply chain management by Martin Christophers. So today we have just gone through the supply chain management process. The first point, the supply chain management process used by the companies to ensure their supply chain efficient and cost effective. So today we are going to discuss about the value chain and what are the impact of supply chain management on cost, benefit, and profitabilities. Here, so I just gone through the previous class slides. So as you know, in case of supply chain management, first you have to plan, then develop, then make, then deliver, and returns. If it is found any kind of difficulties, the same thing should be planned according to the origin of raw material, then manufacturing plant, then manufacturing plant to the outbound storage, then outbound storage to distributor, and distributor to the last, it should be reached up to the end users. Go to the next slide. So these are the things in which way the supply chain management process should be flow, starting from the material flow, then information flow. Then the next one is your cash flow or money flow. Management process flow, as you see in the particular figure, the vendor who provide the basic of raw materials through the sourcing and purchase department, it should be reached inside the organization through the inbound storage area and the mode of different kind of transportations. Then it should be go for make by the help of operational activities. The raw material should be converted into output, and that finished product directly go to the outbound storage through the different mode of transportation known as loading unloading activities. Then at last it is going to the consumer distributions, and finally the consumer get the particular product. So if you go to the scenario as far as concerned with the material flow, the material should be starting from vendor, the vendor to sourcing, sourcing to inbound, inbound to operation, and operation to outbound storage, then consumer distribution center, then lastly it should be reached out to the end users. Similarly, the information should arise in starting from vendor to consumer. These are vice versa. So where we are, that's things we are going to be discussed in the next slide or next chapter. The next part is that money flow. Basically the money flow is reverse way, starting from the consumer and then consumer to distribution center, then distributor center to inbound storage, then operation activities, then again in case of inbound storage, then sourcing, and finally it reach up to the vendors. Going to the next one, we have already discussed the supply chain as a network entity. As I told in the last class, the entities are basically the product, facility, vehicle, and routes. So in case of product, that cost, weight, volume should be considered. And in case of facility, that is operating cost of warehouse, the storage capacity of warehouse, then production and demand should be depend upon the storage area. The next part is the vehicle, that is the cost of operating the transportation, then speed of the vehicle or carriers, then carrier volume, that should be considered in case of vehicles. And finally, the last one is your destination, distance, and product delivery, etc. So if you combine the four entities, you can modify any kind of supply chain anywhere in the world, which should be simple or complex. For example, if you modify the characteristics of these entities as explore different design options, it is depend on, you have to directly customize or modify these four entities. The first one is product, facility, vehicle, and route. So going to the next slide, that is the value chain focus on supply. This is the today topics. So as I told in the previous class, whenever the supply chain management activity is going on, that should be starting from the vendor or suppliers. In that case, different kind of value should be added, and that value should be considered for maximize profit. For example, if you go to the point number 1, supply chain refers to the integration of all activities involved in the process of sourcing, procurement, conversion, and logistics. So these parts should be considered in case of value chain, which is directly focused on increase the supply chain profitabilities. So for example, suppose you are a particular logistic manager of a steel industry. In that case, you have to choose many suppliers, but apart from those suppliers, you have to choose the best supplier who can provide the raw material in the right way, in the right time, in the right quantities, and most important thing is right price. In that case, you have to choose the best carrier or best transportation company in which you can add some value to your, whenever you transfer the raw material from supplier to the inside the organizations. So whenever you think about supply chain, the chain are interlinked with the value additions. So as you know, in case of product is nothing but a bunch of satisfaction which is directly offered from manufacturer to the customers. But apart from those things, whenever you concentrate on supply chain management, these value should be optimized to maximize the profit through the supply chains. Go to the second point. On the other hand, the value chain implies the series of business operations in which utility is added to the goods and service offered by the firm, organization, or company so as to enhance customer value. So everything should be made to enhance the customer satisfaction, to fulfill the demand of customers. That is why the value should be added in all type of activities which is directly involved in case of supply chain management. Going to the third point, the supply chain is the interconnection of all functions that start from manufacturing of raw material into finishing product and the end when the product reaches the final customers. So as I told in the previous slide, this is the particular slide. Then next, the starting from the raw material supplier or vendor, then vendor to sourcing, then sourcing to inbound storage, then inbound storage to operational activities, which is known as manufacturing of product. Then after manufacturing the product, that directly goes to the outbound storage, then outbound storage to the consumer distribution centers, and finally it should be reached up to number of consumers or end users. Similarly, if you go to the next point, the value chains on the other hand is a set of activities that focus on creating or adding value to the product. In which way you can provide better value added product. For example, in case of chocolate, so whenever you deliver the chocolate without wrapping, without your polythene packings, what will happen? Or without MBA, without the decorative packings, it should be directly rejected by the customers. The same thing happens whenever you transport good from one place to other place. You have to add some value. So as I told in the last class, suppose you are transporting a huge amount of desktop, computer desktop. In that case, you cannot be barely deliver the product. That is why cardboard packings, foam packings, even if your that is known as pallet packing, wooden pallet packing should be provided. So due to that value addition, it should be easily accepted by the more amount of potential customer. So that is why the value chain are add more value in case of supply chain profitabilities. So going to the last point, these two network help to provide quality of product to the customer at a reasonable price, and the most of the time supply chain is just posed with the value chain. Going to the next slide, try to understand what do you mean by value chains. So as I told, the value are added in all activities of supply chain. So due to that supply chain, first we have to understand the concept of supply chain. The supply chain refers to the range of activities that add value at every single step in designing, producing, and delivering a quality of product to the customers. I will show a particular case studies. That is the India's largest cargo shipper, or you can say that is a transporter who convert or who add some value to their potential customers in a different segmentation of product and services. The next point is that the value chain analysis is used to evaluate the activity within the around the organization and relating to its ability to provide value for the money, goods, and services. As I told, in case of supply chain management, starting from the supplier, then second step is your inbound logistics, then operation, then outbound logistics. These things are, you can say, these things are evaluated within and around the organization. How to maximize the balance in between supply and demand, and how to make more amount of potential customers. That is the most important things. That is why every company nowadays converted towards adding more value to their potential customers, which enhance customer delights. So due to that things, the cash flow, the information flow, and the material flow are adding more value to their potential customers in the scenario of supply chain management. Go to next slide. So basically, if you go to the basic concept of value chain analysis, it was evolved by Michael Porter in the year 1985 in his renowned book Competitive Advantage. In his opinion, two major steps involved in value chain analysis. So what are the steps? The first one is identification of individual activities. Suppose you are involved in the manufacturing activities, you have to arrange the machine setup. You have to arrange the highly skilled peoples. You have to introduce more technology, more methodology, new process, or you can say that is automation of new process that enhance quality of product. The next part is that analyze the value added in each activities and relating to its firm competitive strength. So as you know, you have to, as far as concern with many organizations nowadays, many organizations are focused on competitive advantages to sustain in the market, to survive in the market, to success in the market. That is why value addition is more important in case of supply chain management. The next part is that if you go to the Porter split the business activity into two main categories, that is primary activities and supportive activities. I will discuss in the next slide. So in case of primary activities, in that particular figure, you have seen that is inbound logistics. The next one is operation. The next one is outbound logistics. The next one is marketing and sales after services provided that directly go to the profit margins. So these, starting from inbound logistics, then operation, then outbound logistics, marketing and service, these are known as primary activities, which is directly related to your supply chain management. But what are the other, or you can say that is supportive activities? The first one is farm infrastructures. Within that infrastructure, you will proceed for your operational activities. The next part is the human resource management. As you know, many companies are directly focused on human resource management for involve highly skilled people through training, through different kind of implementation of quality management policies. The next is technology. You must flexible your manufacturing system that will accept any kind of challenges arise in case of demand informations. And the last one is your purchase or procurement. In case of purchase, the purchase department is very much responsible for arranging good quality of raw material. If you are not purchase the good quality of raw material, your product do not get in case of quality of product. So that is why they have to arrange multi-supplier through the contract negotiations, through the negotiation policies, and they have to arrange in right place, right time, right place, within the proper way of transportation mode. This is most important. So apart from the posters has already divided the primary activities and supply and supportive activities. So whenever you collaborate all kind of activities, by the help of value addition, you can maximize your profit. That is the concept. So then next one is we'll discuss the different entities of your primary activities. The first one is inbound logistics. So as I told in the last class also, it deals with receiving and storing and distribution of inputs, that is raw material inside the organizations. So that is why nowadays company are focused on flexible machine for receiving of raw materials and transportation of raw material inside the organization. That is known as inbound logistics. In that case, they are employed automated guide vehicles, even if conveyor belt also are employed for transportation of goods. In case of storage, they are making more number of spacious warehouse that can be provided to store bulk amount of raw materials. The next part is your manufacturing operations. So as you know, manufacturing is nothing but conversion of input into finishing product. So in that scenario, the manufacturing operation, which involve different type of process, involvement of man, machine and materials, and to produce or to convert the raw material into quality of product. So as far as concern of quality, the quality is nothing but a bunch of satisfaction which is offered from manufacturer to the end users. The next part is that outbound logistics. It is concerned with the collection, storage and distribution of product or service to the customers. So as far as concerned with the outbound logistics, that is beyond the organizations. Whenever it is starting from the outbound storage of company to the different distribution center through different mode of transportations and finally it reach up to the customers. So in that case, outbound logistics, the most important thing, sales after service or distribution after service is provided. So if you take the best example in case of air condition companies like your Carrier Air Conditions, in that case the company provide 3 years free of cost maintenance sales after service. So due to that sales after service, they can arise more amount of potential customer, and it is happened due to outbound logistics operations. The next part is the sales and marketing and sales. It involves the activities that create awareness among the general public regarding the product. So it is the duty of marketing and sales department. They have to go for number of promotion strategy, aware of product, and searching of new potential customer for that particular product. And the last one is that all those activities that increase the value of product or services. So that is why service is most important part as far as concerned with product. If you take the example of Mahindra and Mahindra Rice, in that case, they will provide on-road assistance to the vehicles. So due to that Mahindra and Mahindra Rice concept, they will build up more potential customer across India. So due to that service, it directly enhance your benefit in the form of profit. Go to next one, that is the supportive activities. So these supportive activities help. Primary activities include your procurement or purchase. The next one is involvement of new technologies, new process, new machines, and next one is human resource management, and finally infrastructure. So if you combine the primary and supportive activities, it collaborate or it adds some value to your supply chain management. That is the concept behind value chains. So if you go to the next one, so this is the basic comparison between supply chain and value chain. If you go to the first point, that is the meaning. The integration of all activities involved in procurement, conversion, and logistics of product is known as supply chain. But in case of value chain, it is defined as series of activities that add value to the product. In case of originated from, it is from operation management, and value chain from business management. And the concept of supply chain is convenience, and in case of value chain, that is value should be added. The next is sequence, that is product request, supply chain, and customer. But in case of value chain, that is customer request, value chain, and product. And lastly, in case of supply chain, that is customer satisfaction, increase more amount of potential customers, and in case of value chain, gaining competitive advantage in case of your global, in case of your local or global market. The next part is a typical example of agricultural value chain. So you say in case of agricultural value chains, starting from agricultural inputs, then agricultural practice, then harvesting, then procurement, produce marketing, and processing and retailing. So whenever you take the best example in case of corn harvesting, in that case, basically the seeds are purchased. These are the basic seeds, and all the things should be purchased. In case of agricultural practice, the government has provided the basic SOP, standard operating procedure, for harvesting this particular corns. Then harvesting, the next one is procurement, and then produce market. That means, so whenever you add value, these are the different activities of your agricultural value chains. So after produce the marketing, you go for the processing and retailing, and finally it should be reached up to the end users. Going to the next one, you see the vertical integration of all the things. Vertical integration of herbal medicine value chains. If you go to the horizontal integration, that is the finance is there, service is there, agricultural association is there, and government bodies and their policies there. But apart from those things, if you concentrate on vertical integration, farmers and primary processors are there. After their downline, manufacturing and secondary processor are there. So these particular manufacturing and secondary processor are divided into two types, that is domestic market or export market. The lastly, it should be reached up to the retail market, it is globally as well as nationally. Going to the next one, this is a typical case study of Suguna Foods. So as you know, Suguna Food is very much provide weight or flesh meat of chickens. In that case, I will show that particular case study. So this is the founder with over 30,000 farmers of Suguna network is only growing. Started with the vision of enrich rural India. Suguna has successfully enriched the life of many rural households. The Indian #1 boiler producers, that is the breed produced by Suguna itself, and the founder Sundaranjan Bangaraswamy is the Indian business who is the managing director of Suguna Holding Private Limited. The company owned feed mills, research, development center, training program, processing plant, hatcheries, and efficient supply chain management. This is the most important thing. And technology infrastructure are indicator that you need not to look outside when you part of Suguna families. the most important things of Sugna Foods is that the Sugna reaches highest of 7,880 crores turnovers, and it is happened due to the efficient value addition in case of supply chain management. How they will implement the value addition in case of supply chain, I will show in the next slide. So these are the basic or famous breed of Sugna food, that is boiler and layers. These are the products, Sugna and Sugna equipment, Sugna chicks. And this is the typical operation of a vertical integration, or you can say that is the value addition of supply chain in case of Sugna. So starting from the corn and soybean mills, that other feeds integrates and they directly go to the feed mills. And from the feed mills, mix the feed rations and it should be reached up to the breeder farms. And at the top corner, the primary breeder company breed the chicks and hatching eggs at the different hatchery. Then next is boiler chicks is directly go to the grow out house, and from grow out house to it is ready for the market, and the market is to be reached at a different outlet that is known as processing plant, and processing plant to the further processings, and byproduct are directly go to the rendering plant. As you see, in case of further processing plant, it should be directly go to the retailer, distributor, grocery, food, service, institution, and export. So this is the typical vertical operation of integrated poultry farm, starting from the corn. I just repeat that one, corn, then corn and soybean are directly go to the feed mill, and from the feed mill to the breeder farm, and breeder farm to different boiler farm. We consider that is a primary breeder companies are there. Then primary breeder company to the different hatchery, then different hatchery to the grow out house, then grow out house to the processing plant, and processing to the further processing plant, and byproduct directly go to the rendering plant, and further processing the basic weight meat or the fresh meat directly go to the distributor, retailer, grocery, then foods outlet, the service and institution, and export. So these are the typical supply chain of your hatchery plant or poultry plant, which integrate the basic value added supply chain process. Where value are added, if you see in the past part, in case of agriculture, the most important things are the fertilizers value should be added. The next part is that the transportation value should be added to reach from the farmland to the feed mill. In that case, after processing from the feed mill, it should be reached to the breeder farm through the different mode of transportation. And here the transportation cost should be added. The next part is that in case of breeder farm to the hatchery, in that case, a different mode of transportation value should be added. So in that, if you starting from the farm, then feed mill, then breeder farm, then hatchery, then grow out house, then processing plant, here the transportation value are added. And that value, that means what? Speedy of delivery, efficient of system. The next one is making more potential customer. That is the most important thing whenever you add value. Going to the next one, it is I will explain the forward integration as well as the backward integration of this particular poultry of Sugna Foods. In case of forward integrations, as you know, that is in case of forward integration, the parent breeder farms are directly the boiler or chicken directly go to hatchery, then it goes to the contract farm in case of commercial, then slaughtering process, then market and franchise retailer. So in case of backward, what will happen if it is not accepted in case of good quality of breed, that should be directly moved through the backward integration. That means what? From the contract farm, it should be reached up to the feed production, then feed production to the parent breeding house. The next part is that next case study is on your ITC. Okay, so as you know, ITC is the full form of ITC is Indian Tobacco Company Limited. So these are the different franchise owned by the ITCs, and this is the different future holding company of ITC under tobacco, edible oil and papers. So you know, in case of ITC hotels, then ITC Bhadra Chalam Limited, and ITC Agro, ITC Software, ITC Finance, and joint venture banks are there. I will share that particular slide. Just quickly gone through. So ITC is the one of the India's biggest, foremost private sector companies with a market capitalization of US 52 billions and gross sales of US 10 billion, with the presence of FMCG, hotels and packagings, paper boards, and special paper in case of agri and IT business. So going to the next one, if you go to the, in that case, the ITC brand are designed and customized to delight the deliver taste, need, and lifestyle of discerning Indian consumers. ITC brand reaches 124 million Indian households. So they are directly focused on FMCG product apart from a tobacco. So ITC believe that the business can be bring transformational change to create more sustainable future. So as I know, nowadays company are focused on profitability. So how they make profitability? To sustain in the market, to success and survive in the market. So due to that things, to serve larger national priority, ITC has made societal value creation and core of its business strategies. In that case, he is the founder of, then the next slide. So this is the founder of your ITC group or chairman or managing director, that is Sanjeev Puri. And the next one is, this is the product profile, starting from the brand apparel, then the hotel, then cigarette, then license sticks, incense sticks, personal care, safety matches, agricultural industries, information technology, paperboard, packaged food, and last one is sanitaries. So in that case, if you directly, we have directly gone through this particular case studies. So these are the different branches of ITC or distribution network across India. So here the supply chain of ITC. So initially the company made a particular company hub factory. That there are different locations are there, and according to that location, they will produce that amount of product or that kind of product. For example, in case of Bidar, in case of Nagpur belt, they are focused on producing fruit juice, because in that area it is concentrated, or that volume of food production is very much higher side. Then if you look at the particular diagram, the company hub factory to the carried out and forward agency, that is C&F agency is there. These are the nothing but different kind of stockist, super stockists are there. Then super carry and forward agency to the wholesaler. Then wholesaler to the, if you take a look at the right side, that is small wholesaler dealers are there, and finally it should be reached at the retailer and retail to consumers. So this is the simplest way of ITC, because ITC is supply chain management, but the strategy of supply chain management in case of ITC is they are directly focused on rural India. So that is why they should make their supply chain model in a simplest way, starting from the company hub factory to the carry and forward agency, then wholesaler to the retailer, or in some cases wholesaler to the small wholesaler or dealer, then small wholesaler to dealer to a retailer, and retailer finally it should be reached up to the consumers. If you look at the flow diagram, in the left corner, that is carry and forward agency are there. They are well connected with the factories, and this carry and forward agency are well connected through the different mode of transportation to the wholesale and distributor, and wholesale distributor to the small wholesale and dealer base, and finally it should be reached up to the retail. But in some cases, the distributor directly sell to the end users. That is the concept. If you go to the stages of value addition in case of internal supply chain management, first we are focused on inbound logistics. So in case of inbound logistics, what are included? The farmer proceed to the nearest ITC procurement hub with this particular note. And some procurement hub are ITC factory, other are purely warehouse operations. So as I told in the last class, that Indo-Arya group has Asia's largest warehouse, and they have tie-up with ITC, and through the tie-up, the ITC can play various inbound logistics to the nearest state. For example, in case of state like Punjab, state like Maharashtra, state like Uttarakhand, state like Jammu and Kashmir. So that is why they are tie up with, in case of purely warehouse operation, with Indo-Arya Group. The next point is ITC aim to have processing center within 30 to 40 kilometer radius of its farmer. So as I told, in case of ITC, value addition, in case of internal supply chain management, they are directly focused on rural market, where they can maximize their profitability through the value additions. The next part is that raw material, the filters are made of 90% of cellulose. This is the typical example of cellulose in case of fruit juice, and tripping paper to cover filters, and rolling papers to cover tobacco, and tobacco blend. These are the things. For example, in case of your juice items, in case of fruit juice, in case of flavor juice, the all cellulose are directly made of filters, and in case of tripping paper to cover the filter, this is a typical example in case of your cigarette. But in case of other, for example, in case of processing of foods, processing of you can say that is agri product, that is why they are situated near about 30 to 40 kilometers range within that particular regions. Then go to the next one, that is the different stage of value addition in case of internal. The next is, first one is raw material, the next one is main. The ITC employs 25,000 people at more than 60 locations in different pan-India locations. The next is machinery. ITC uses world-class machine in order to match the demand. The next is material. ITC gives world-class quality product to their customers. That is why they can maximize the profitability through the value addition stages. The next part is that money. ITC is one of the country's biggest foreign exchange earners. And apart from those things, the environmental collaboration with suppliers, that is the most important things. The next one is environmental friendly purchase practice. Then product environmental impact reduction by collaboration with the designer and supplier. Then minimization of waste. So if you go to the nearby ITC manufacturing unit, anywhere across India, they have the particular setup for waste disposals and storage and drainage disposal of biodegradable or wastage of material which is directly generated from the manufacturing unit of ITC. The next part is decrease the consumption of hazardous and toxic material. So due to that things, as I told, they are directly collaborate with different kind of supplier as far as concerned with the ISO 14,000 policy. So in that policy, they are not use, or you can say that it decrease the percentage of hazardous and toxic material in that particular product. And finally, environmental friendly packagings. So nowadays, ITC is focused toward green packaging or the e-packaging. In that things, that particular product packaging should contain all the informations and that provide some value added things in that particular product appearance, or sorry, product packaging appearance. And the next part is that you can easily decompose that particular package after the use of your particular product or consumption of that particular product. The next stage of value addition is the stages of value addition in case of external supply chain management. The most important thing, your factory or organization that provide infrastructure. The next part is your carry and forward agent. So here, carry and forward agent, nowadays there should be act as a companies, but the thing is that they can maximize their margin through the distribution or mode of supply chain networks. The next part is their wholesale distributor. So ITC is well connected. As you know, ITC is already well connected with 16 different locations, and these 16 number of different locations across India, it's well connected with their carry and forward agents. The next part is that ISO 14,000 certification. This is known as environmental management system, which is implemented by ITC to enhance the quality of product and to enhance the you can say that is the manufacturing environment for to increase or to add some value to their particular product. And the most important part here, reverse logistics. For example, as you know, in case of Nestle has just influence and put some hazardous and toxic materials in the form of lead in case of Maggie. So due to that things, the amount of material should be removed by Nestle from the market. But it is difficult to implement the simplest way of reverse logistics in case of Nestle. So due to that cases, ITC has implemented reverse logistics in a simplest way. If the product is not up to the quality level, it should be removed from the market through the mode of forward and backward distribution networks. The next part is environmental collaboration with the customers. So apart from those things, why they are focused on environmental things? Because most of the things are hazardous things or they are toxic things. There should be well known to the customer how to use and when to use. That is the most important. If it is not accepted by the customer, it should be directly reverse or through the different mode of logistics that is known as reverse logistics. It should be reach up to the your manufacturing unit. And the last point is work with customer to change the product specifications. So that is why more company are focused on working with customer to change the product specification according to the customer demand. The company have arranged their research and development center for focusing on development of new product as far as concerned with the design, which is very much simple, not complex product. And that simple product should be easily accepted by the potential customer. So due to that potential customer, they can increase the more volume of customer in that particular region. That is the concept of value addition in case of your ITC group. The next is outcomes. So if you see the basic outcomes, analyze the manufacturing operation of a farm. Then second point is apply sales and operation plannings. The next is material requirement plannings and lean manufacturing concept. The next is apply logistic and purchase concept to improve supply chain operations. Apply quality management tool that is known as, you can say the best example is just in time, then total quality management, quality function deployment should be, this tool should be implemented. You can say that is Kanban policy. Then your Pokayok tool should be used in case of process improvement. The next part is that engagement with our supply chain has expanded with given the growth of new consumer and good business. So due to engagement of different supply chain network, which is likely to be expanded in the upcoming future, that provide good consumer, you can say new consumer good business. Then ITC supply chain comprise a large number of small scale partners. That is why to build up, as I told in case of ITC business, they are focusing on rural market. Initially, they are developed small scale partners to flexible their supply chain. Apart from those things, the next part is yes,
so
yes.
your PPT is not visible.
My PPT is not visible. Just a minute.
It's visible, sir.
Is it visible?
Yes, sir.
Hello. Okay.
Yes, sir. It's visible.
Okay. The next thing is they have employed third party seller, and that third party seller provides different kind of operational activity. For example, in case of transportation, for example, in case of loading unloading activities, and for example, a bulk amount of transportation in case of national market, in case of global market. The next is extensive use of technology. So if you go to the for the packaging of matchsticks, in that case, if you think about 1 decat bag or 2 decat bag, generally workers are involved for packaging of that particular match boxes. Nowadays, they convert, they employed some flexible system for packaging of those things. So these are the small example in case of intensive use of technology. The next is access the information about customers. And the next one is follow the fast in, fast out inventory management methods. And the last one is the ITCs collaborate with your rail, road, and sea movement within the country depending upon the product type. That is the target is safer, faster and cost effective. Clear? Hello? Hello?
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
Okay, you can ask some questions. Okay, you will have already 15 minutes left for discussing about the different aspect of value chain addition in case of supply chain. Then I will discuss a small case study on value set and provide some assignment related to supply chain management case studies.
Sir, sir,
Yes, yes,
hello, sir. In case of supply chain management, sir, we are just
yes.
reading the supply chain management because of cost effectiveness. If you will follow the supply chain management, then our product will be cost effective. Sir, in case of supply chain, the intermediary are the parties that will increase the cost of the product. So that because of the intermediary, our cost of the product is increasing. So that how can we eradicate the intermediary so that our cost effectiveness will be more?
That is why in the previous class I've already discussed. In case of you told in case of value chain addition, in case of supply chain, if you add value, your question is if you add value, the cost of product will be increased. Yes or no?
Yes, sir.
So that is why you are directly focused on the entities of supply chain management. Where to add value. For example, in case of entities, that is product is there, the facility is there, the carrier is there, and the route is there. Suppose
Yes, sir.
the product is directly rejected by customers. Clear? In that case, what is the difficulty faced by customer? That is the duty of product design department. Clear? In that case, you are directly focus on the fast entity of supply chain management that is known as product. Clear? The next part is the customer is directly rejected the product due to delay in delivery. In that case, you are directly focused on carrier.
No, sir, no, sir. My point is that, sir, we in the system of supply chain and management, we are just adding some intermediaries like the carrier and forward, retailer, wholesaler. We are just adding some intermediaries. But sir, for the intermediaries, sir, we are just adding value to our products and we are just adding cost to our products. So how can be our cost of the product will be minimized by minimizing these intermediaries through supply chain
Yes, yes, yes.
management?
I will give the best example. For example, in case of dairy industries, clear. For collection
Yes.
of raw milk, dairy industry take the best example in case of umped, clear. So whenever you collect, you employed more amount of vehicle for collection of raw milk. In that case, the cost of transportation is increased. So as far as
Yes, sir.
concerned with vehicles, to minimize the cost of that particular transportation, so that is why they have employed milk run method. In case of milk run method, only one vehicle should be released from the processing unit, and that vehicle should be reached up to number of collection centers. So in that way, you can add value means what? You can reduce the cost, optimize the cost, or you can say that it customize the cost. So due to that things, you can maximize your profit. That is the concept of value chains. You cannot directly remove the cost of that particular thing. So as you told, in case of the manufacturer, then the carry and forward agencies. Suppose the X product is generated by a particular manufacturing unit, that should be shipped to the carry and forward unit. Clear? As I
Yes,
told
sir.
in ITC is just they are directly focused on rural area. First thing. The second thing is that they are focused. They have established their manufacturing unit nearer in the 30 to 40-kilometer radius. In that case, the cost of transportation is very much less. I think you can get your
Yes, sir.
answer.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
Okay. Anyone? Snassis Mahanti. You are free to ask question. There is no particular. You don't be shy. You can ask questions. Yes, Snassis Mahanti. No doubt.
Sir, another question from my side.
Yes, you can ask any question, any doubt.
Sir, without inventory, can we, sir, sorry, without inventory, can we produce, and without inventory, can we sell the products? Because sir, inventory of some products can maximize our cost. So, sir, without inventory, can we produce, and without inventory, can we sell?
Without inventory, you can say uh, this particular question. If I answer as far as concerned with the supply chain management, in case of inventory, here we are just thinking we do not hold the inventory for a certain period because the cost of storing is very much high in case of inventory. But your question is without inventory you can sell.
Yes, sir.
Hello,
Yes, sir.
hello.
Yes,
Without
sir.
inventory you can sell. You can sell without inventory. But the thing is that you have to provide if you provide sales after service, you must need inventories.
Okay, sir. Thank you, sir.
Subrat Malik. Hello. Hello.
Yes, sir.
I am asking you are Soumya Prakash Jana. Are you there?
Yes, sir.
You can ask freely. Don't be shy. You can ask freely. It is my class. Don't be shy.
Sir, without inventory, the problem is arise demand and supply management.
No. In case as you see, as far as concerned with the supply chain management, supply chain is the coordination of all activities to fulfill the customer demand. In case of inventory, or you can say that is semi-finished product or work in progress product, it is a part of operational activities. Whether they hold the inventory or whether they process the inventory. If you take the
Yes,
best
sir.
example, in case of transportation, in case
Yes,
of
sir.
transportations, if you ask the driver or the co-pilot, they don't have inventories.
Yes, sir.
Smriti Ranjan Swai.
Yes, sir.
Smriti Ranjan Swai, are you there? You can ask
Yes, sir.
questions.
So I'm able to understand, but one thing is, I think you're going pretty fast sometimes. Very fast is also.
No. Time is limited. Yeah, that is why I'm just quickly gone through. If you have doubt, you can ask freely.
No, sir, no doubt is there. I'm able to understand.
Okay, thank you. If you doubt, then you can call me. Okay. Yes,
Sir,
Sumit.
we need a example on service sector in SCM.
Service sector. I will show the best service sector in the upcoming slide. Okay.
Yes, sir.
Due to time constraint, I'm not showing those things. Just quickly gone from this. So this is the service sector. Okay. Try to understand. This is the Agarwal Movers and Packers. It is the only one company in India. Just quickly gone through. So this is the founder of your Agarwal Packers and Movers, founded by the Dayanand Agarwals. The group is known as DRS Group, Dayanand Agarwal Groups. Clear? In that case, in case of service industry, you know that assurance है हो तो Ramesh Agrawal है, did the holding, and the next is this is the only one company who has holding their position in the largest movers of household goods acknowledged by World Book of Records along with Limca Book of Records. So these are the service industries. Okay, so if you go to the strength of this particular organization, that is 30 plus year of trust, 90,000 moves annually, and 2+ million square feet warehouse is there. 10 manpower is there. Branch 100 plus branch location is there, and 1,000+ vehicles are there. So they are providing this kind of facilities. Clear? The most important service is that I'm just quickly gone through all the things. Okay. So this particular company provides, you cannot be imagined, they are provide the service like transportation of pet, even if plant, even if whole house should be shipped from one place to another place. The company started the project for shifting of a church in Kerala to shift one place to other place. This kind of service, apart from transport industry, there is no company which should provide this kind of facilities. So due to that service facilities, the brand value of company will be increased and they can make more amount of profitability. So that is why the company, some people are directly influence their logo. The company is based on Delhi and more number of various company registered their name in case of Agrawal. So due to that things, company is directly patented their logo. So nobody directly influence their logo and do their business. So due to that service facilities, just imagine they are providing all kind of facilities. They provide insurance for scratching of vehicles. For example, you are transporting your bike from Bhubaneswar to Delhi, but in case of railway, there is no guarantee for scratching of body. So due to that thing, more customers are irritated in case of Indian Railway. But overall movers and packer, they provide zero scratches insurance. So due to that thing, it should be enhance the serviceability and build up more potential customers. Hello.
Yes, sir.
Okay. Okay. Thank you, all of you. Okay.
Thank you, sir.
Thank you, sir.
Sir,
Yes. Yes.
sir, I have a question. Sir, when we order from online or like Flipkart or Amazon, due to some damage or some issue, we return it, and due to some damage, we try to again order the means just refund it, or maybe we go for a new product, complete new product.
Okay.
At the time they doing the reverse logistic, and they again send us a new product. So in that between, they are they adding the value as you told for the transportation?
No. If you compare in between Flipkart, try to understand in
Yes,
between. If you want to compare a Flipkart reverse logistic, you can say that is backward logistic, or compare with Amazon a backward or reverse logistics. So most of the
Flipkart.
customers focus on Flipkart. Why Flipkart? It is the duty. It is the best way to provide the distribution network or smoothly operated distribution network. In that case, what will happen? Whenever you found any kind of damaged product, you just deliver to the delivery executives. Yes or no?
Yes, sir.
In that case, what will happen after delivering the product? They have a particular barcode scanner. When they particularly scan that particular barcode, the amount what you had paid, that directly credit to your account. Clear? But the thing is
Yes,
that
sir.
in case of Amazon, what will happen? In that case, first you have to arrange a packaging unit, then log in case of Amazon, then generate a particular barcode and just paste the barcode on the top of your product or on the packaging of your product, then send to the Amazon
Yes, sir.
distribution hub. If it is acceptable region, they provide a particular tracking record of that particular reverse logistics. Then if it is approved, then they will refund. So due to that thing, your question is how they manage the defect product. Yes or no? Hello?
No, sir.
So in that case, what will happen? In that case, they
Sir,
are yes. They are
so
directly tied.
as you have told that they are adding value for the transportation for
But in case of
each
try
setup.
to understand, in case of Flipkart, those person, if you ask your senior, those who are already employed in case of Flipkart, they have well or smooth operation of in case of distribution networks. The same person deliver the product,
Yes, sir.
the same person will receive the damaged product also. Due to that thing, there is no you can say that is no cost should be added. Clear? Hello?
Okay. Okay, sir.
Okay. I hope all of you understand all the things. Subrat Malik,
Yes.
any questions?
Sir,
Subrat
nahi bola,
Malik.
sir.
Okay, thank you.
Thank you, sir. Thank you, sir.
Thank you, sir.
Thank you, sir.